everybody, it's Melissa Sorrentino. I want to talk today to all the overachievers out there. Now, wait just a second. If in your mind, when I said the overachievers, if you went, oh, I'm not really an overachiever, I don't really do very much of anything, there's a high likelihood that you're an overachiever, because that is the voice of self-judgment of you're never quite good enough. If you feel like you're never quite good enough, chances are you are already in that mind state where you're always trying to achieve. Achievement is valuable to you. Nothing wrong with that. But here's what I want to talk about. It's the inner voice, okay? We all have an inner critic, and I contend that we do not develop as much as we should our inner cheerleader, okay? I have an inner encouragement voice that I have consciously and intentionally evolved. There was a time in my life when I was in therapy, and when I was talking to my therapist, I said something during my session, and it was quite harsh to myself, and the voice that I used was quite harsh, and it was something like, come on, Melissa, just pull yourself together. Like that harsh. And he stopped me during my session and he said, who is that? And I was like, what do you mean? And he said, who is that hammer voice? And I'll never forget it, that hammer voice. And ever since that moment when that guy pointed that out to me, when I have my hammer voice in my head, I recognize it and I go, oh, boop, boop, alert, this is the hammer voice. And I pause and I reframe it with a different voice. I did this consciously and intentionally until now. I actually habitually talk to myself really nice. And I'm going to really be very personal with you guys, and I'm going to share with you how I talk to myself now. I use pet names when I talk to myself, and particularly since I've been divorced, but even kind of early in the process of moving towards divorce, I was really starting to, it was rough, is all I'm going to say. It was just really rough. So in order to encourage myself and give myself, God, I don't want to be too dramatic, but just like some survival skills, just straight up, I needed to think of myself as someone who was capable, who was not like a doormat, and who was not, too old, too pathetic, too whatever, insert crap word here. I needed to even kid myself to get myself going. And cut to today, it seems to be working because I don't wake up anywhere near in the state that I used to. I mean, I really, the level of energy that you see emitting from me, if you see any energy, it's legit, and it's pretty much consistent, and it's almost all the time. I have moments where I'm like, I get real pathetic, but I actually even only give myself a certain amount of time to kind of mourn whatever I need to mourn and feel bad for a little while, and then it's like, okay. But instead of going, come on, Melissa, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, get a hold of yourself. Get a hold of yourself, Melissa. I don't do that anymore. That voice is not my voice. It did not come from me. It came from an outside source downloaded into me. But I removed that. I went, that's so-and-so. That's not Melissa. That's somebody else. Chuck. But the concept of getting myself up and getting myself moving and all that, that's a positive concept. But instead, I say things like this to myself. This is going to be super embarrassing. And if you start doing it, you're going to feel weird. Trust me, at first. But after a while, it's very nice. I call myself baby girl a lot. And I'll say come on, baby girl, you can do this. You can do this, sweet girl. And I talk to that young girl that's somewhere, kind of stuck within me. I'll call myself pretty. I'll call myself smart. I'll say you know what? You're smart and you can handle this. And I actually do it in second person because I recognize there's like a parenty mom in me and a little girl mom in me. And I let the little girl have that parent that's sweet to her and sweet to me. And sometimes I'll use I statements. I'll say like, I'll get up in the morning, and if I'm feeling crappy, I'll just say I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I can do whatever I need to do, I can face this day, I've got this, no big whoop. I'm smart, I'm tough, I'm beautiful, I'm sexy, I can rock this day out no matter what comes up. I'm gonna stay in a good mood. I'm in a good mood right now. It's like, I know like it must be weird to witness that, but it took me a while, you guys, like years, like maybe 2 to 4 years of intentionally doing this. But this has changed me from somebody that would be like, why should I get up? I can't do anything. I can't even barely do it right now because I've so completely just severed all that wiring in my head and like refused. I have refused that wiring. That wiring is a bunch of shit. And I say things like this to myself, and I encourage you to do this in the privacy of your own head, but actually even out loud so your own ears can hear what you say. Saying things like, sweet girl, sweetie, honey. I totally use pet names for myself. I say like, you got this, sweet girl. You can do this, baby girl. This is all right. This. I know it's a little intimidating, but you know what? You're a big girl. You can take care of yourself. I actually talk to myself like I'm a little kid, and it really helps me. And the kind of a residual effect is that it really has kind of like created a youthfulness in me that, I know there's like probably a critical voice in your head, even watching me saying this, going like, yeah, well that, but you can't do that because you're not a child. You have responsibilities. Hey, you know what? You're a big girl. You have responsibilities. You can manage this. You can pay the mortgage. You can pay the utilities. You got this. Hey, only got 6 hours of sleep, but you're a big girl. You can manage your way through the day, okay? Good for you. Good for you, honey. That's all right. We can take a break. It's all right. We can take a little coffee break, and then we're going to just hit the grind again. All right, baby girl? You got this. I actually talk to myself like this. And I did it. I mean, I know this is a little over the top, but I did it in a somewhat over the top way. I would stutter. I couldn't even think of, literally, I could think of 0 quality things to say to myself. I had nothing kind coming up on the docket, and I would just stutter step my way through that path until now it's like I said, the weeds have been pulled from the garden. The seeds of good, beautiful seeds have been planted, and they're starting to come up and sprout all over. So I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to just upgrade your inner voice. Okay? That's all I have today. I really hope you're enjoying these videos. I'm going to keep rolling them out. I'm trying to get them shorter and more to the point. I'm giving myself notes, and I really, really appreciate those of you that have been sticking by me and, giving me something to kind of keep doing reps on and improve myself. I'm really psyched about it. Okay? Go ahead and click your likes and subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have subscribers, and that support system really helps me to elevate my game, knowing that I'm trying to reach people that are different from me and speak to you from my own heart. Okay? Take care. Bye, everybody.